babaláwo èèyàn ìbọrù bọyè ó yàn.
Hey, Aboro boy, how's everyone?
Abo Shishe, good.
How are you?
Good, Lou. How are you doing? How's life?
Good. Yeah, so just waiting on people to join in, and we've got folks on the website, I believe. So
Okay.
we've got people joining in different places.
All right.
I'll just keep reiterating how we want to conduct this process. So in terms of this, what we want to do is begin with a discussion on, the things that we're most concerned with, and then move forward. By the way, Abora Boy, how's everyone? I'm Oluo Fakolade of Idinka Ifa Temple. Thank you for joining us for this divination that we feel that is so urgently needed. And this is Oluenla Idawo Ifa of Oturtuka Ifa Temple. Baba, would you like to please introduce yourself? Tell everyone who you are who don't know you.
Yes, Abora boy, everybody. Kaleo. We're depending on the time zone. Hope everyone's well. So I'm Olula Irawifa. I'm here in Los Angeles for Turtuka Temple. And I've been working with Oluifa Kolade for 20 some odd years. And I just want to say greetings to everyone. I can't, with the format I have right now, I can't quite see everyone who's on it, but I give my greetings to all of you all. And I hope this is a productive and interesting way to bring some peace and stability into the world, and also elevate the profile of Ifa. Okay.
Sure. Very good. Yeah. So what I was saying is I wanted this to be a process where we have an open discussion to begin with in terms of discussing how. Like, what are the things that we're most concerned about right now? There are at least two major wars going on, and it's safe to say these wars are not even wars. They're basically massacres happening in Ukraine, Palestine, Israel, and also the Congo. So we have at least three major issues that are happening simultaneously, and I believe we as Ifa followers need to be involved at least in some sort of way of putting our energy out there to help stop this negativity from being greater than what it could be. If we can minimize the damage, reduce the amount of problems that will come as a result, that will be a great thing for us as Ifa followers, I think. So what I wanted to do, as I said before, the format is we've got 4 people here. I think one person who's tuning in from the Idinka Ifa Temple website. And so what I wanted to do, or begin with at least, is in terms of this process, what we should do is kind of open up a process of discussion and what are the things we want to see in the world. And I think that it's really important for us as Ifa followers to utilize Ifa, build the profile of Ifa, but along with building that profile of Ifa is utilizing this spiritual technology as a means to mend and heal the world, as a means to mend and heal society, community, and so on. So that's what I would like to open up with. So the chat is open, and so what people will be saying here on the chat board that I can see, what I'll be doing is I will be able to like click and allow it to be seen by everyone. And then also I will say what is being said. So those of you who have suggestions, topics that you want to address, I wanted to make it possible also for specific elders to jump on and share the screen as we do this discussion, and also as we do the divination process. So what I would like to do is, what are we looking for? What do we as a community want out of not only this divination, but what do we need Ifa to do for us and the world as it concerns with all of these complex issues that our society, our culture is dealing with globally? So I'll open it up that way. Yeah, there's been people who are contacting me regarding, are we going to cast on these things? So as I'm saying, I want people to talk. I want people to say, what do we want? Because before we can cast Ifa, before we can check with Ifa, before we can do anything, we have to kind of deliberate and do our very best to get on one accord in terms of these very complicated issues. So I don't see anyone saying anything as of yet, although there've been more people who've jumped on. What I will say is, we talk of peace, we talk of healing, and these are some really good things to say. But in terms of peace and healing, like how do we get there? I think those are some of the main things, and also uh, to do our very best so that at least the U.S. doesn't get involved in another world war, that we don't contribute to another world war. That would be great. And also, in terms of this process of not getting involved in another world war skirmish, I think another thing is, if the powers that be here decide to do, whatever they're going to do, how is it that we ourselves, our families, will be safe and protected by Ifa? How will Olodumare protect us in the midst of all this madness? So those are some things that I would like to kind of put out there in terms of what Ifa might have to say um, related to some of these issues. What do you all have to say about it? What are your thoughts, your questions? Okay. All right. So Oluwala, I think his signal kind of went out. But yeah, I would really like for dialogue. So I'm just kind of sitting and chilling, waiting for other contributions in terms of what we would like to do, how we would like to approach this. So I see one person, um, uh, Oloye Oluo Oje Fumike. That person says, Abora Boy, I think we as a whole Ifa community uh, start going out, spread messages of love, healing, along with casting divination to see what Ifa has to say on this. Okay, Ashe. I think that's definitely really important in terms of casting Ifa, in terms of how to go about this process of spreading a good message and spreading love and perhaps bringing peace, more peace into the world. So Ashe, I definitely think that's important. Anybody else? What do you all think that this process of divination should be devoted to? So, those of you who are on the website, you can also join on Facebook and on YouTube. You just go to at IDINKAAIFATEMPLE, Edin Kaifa Temple. Okay, so I see Arthur Amaker has something to say. He's saying, did the Odu of the Year from Ado Akichi speak anything on the wars? Okay. So I'm sure Ifa has mentioned things about community. The Odu that we received was, I believe it was Ogunda Oshe. That was the Odu that has come about in terms of that. Olunla, do you have anything to share in terms of what Ogunda? Well, one of the things in terms of Ogunda She, but I want to also divert to Olunla, is in terms of that Odu, what Ifa is speaking of, it does speak of an aspect of war. It is related to a situation where there will be a disgruntled relative, particularly a masculine energy of a son, who will be raised up and come back with disdain to destroy his own home, to destroy the place where he was raised. That is definitely what Ifa says on that. And also, the other aspect of it is very important for on Ogundashe, it is very important for us to take good care of, particularly our male children, so that they know exactly who their fathers are. Who fathers are really important in terms of raising their children, raising their sons, raising their children in order to assist them in being the best that they absolutely can. Also, Olunla has mentioned that we can use this process as a way to organize ourselves and be able to speak on the same topics in our sermons and also unify ourselves. This can be something that we all can kind of gather together and rally around and begin to speak with levels of synonymy. Okay. Olunla, if you want to add anything else there in terms of what Ogundashe has to say or anything like that within in terms of the conflict. Okay.
Okay,
Um,
I show. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, so the connection's good. All right. Yes. So Ogunda Lashe, this Ifa is interesting because what it says in here is that we've already offered the Ebo against premature death. And it says that there's going to be many cases this year where it looks like people are about to die or they're in very precarious situations. But with the Ebo that we've done and the Ebos that we may need to do more of, it said, because what the Ifa said here, it said, Orumila said, the child appears destined to die young. I chorus, the child appears destined to die young. But then it says, the child of Oguni, Jao, Shosi, and Agbonirigun will not die young. Lead does not die young. And the offspring of lead, that's the metal lead, will live long. So Ifa says that there's going to be situations where people in different parts of the world, under our, in our realm, they look like they're about to die, but there's a chance to keep them alive, and that's why we offered a bow with that he goat, and we offered a bow with pieces of lead, and we fed Ifa. So I just want to emphasize that Ifa is telling us in Ogundashe that we have the possibility of actually saving some lives of people who, according to the Ifa poem, appear as if they're about to die, people in precarious and weak situations. So, my written comment was just that I think we need to build up our Ifa brand as we are peacemakers, we are life savers, we are people who can make a difference. But we have to be more consistent in putting that message out there, and not to squabble over the color of our beads, or which way we wear our hats or anything like that. Those things are not as important as Ifa. We have a special message to give about being peacemakers, and we have this divination tool. So my goal is to have us be more relevant, to raise the relevant profile of Ifa, so that decision makers at least want to, they may not follow what we say, but they'll want to hear, oh, let me see what the Ian Ifas and Babalaos are talking about. And Ifa Kole Olu, you remember how we've been studying with our elders, how we will do a hypothetical casting, and then see if I will give us the key to resolving it. I want us to make sure that the keys that we have to resolve through divination enter into local, state, and federal, and national, international conversations. And it's going to be a process. I'm not like thinking like, Joe Biden's going to call us tomorrow. What I'm saying is it's a process, and I'd like this to begin to be the process of making Ifa relevant on a national stage, the way it's relevant in our own households right now. So,
sure. And as you mentioned that, Olunla, in the sense of creating an environment where we're talking about peace within the world, but what about peace within the Ifa world? What that also means is the embracing of sides. You know what I'm saying? The issues in terms of World Ifa Festival, those kinds of things. Let us embrace and say, Ashe, it's all Ifa. And that too is a microcosm of the macrocosm of the conflicts that are abound at this time. So, one other thing is, if we, at least here in the diaspora, can foster, inspire, and speak outwardly about unity and healing, perhaps that also can reverberate outwards. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying that everything's just going to all of a sudden be like, oh, it's all good and peace. No, it might not be that way, but let there be peace, and let it begin with us. Let it begin with what we speak on, what we say, what we believe, what we desire, what our intention is, not only in the world but also amongst ourselves. Because it's like, not only healing the conflicts throughout the world, but what about the conflicts in our household? What are the things that we can do to facilitate that, so that harmony can reverberate? I see some more comments here. Aboshisha Boto. All right. Awujola, she mentions, wondering about how our travel and commerce might be affected as a result of these conflicts. Okay. Aboshisha Boto, Egun's child, thank you. Ashe, Awojola. Okay. So it seems like we've got some good insight, some good questions going on. I think let me see. Whoops, let me go here. Okay. Yeah. Ifa Moroju, she mentioned, based off what Ifa said, and the Odu out of Ife, She says, not sure how many folks are dealing with that, but how does a group of peoples who traditionally don't practice Ifa receive the blessing and protection of Ifa, and how do we as an Ifa practitioner support that? Okay, very, very interesting question in terms of um, uh, how do we as Ifa followers do things for the greater good of the world, United States, so on and so forth. And what I would also say, in my opinion, I think that if we can be like forces for good, that then assists on a small level in transforming the world. The things, the choices that we make, we offer a bowl not only for ourselves but also for the world. It affects the world by our actions and the actions that we take as responsible people who also have ashe. And we have a responsibility as, people who have this ashe to speak out into the world. um, this is what we want to see, this is what we want to manifest. So we as Ifa practitioners also need to recognize our power and our responsibility to be able to bring good things into the world by speaking them intentionally, praying intentionally. We can transform this world. We can offer a bowl, and the the other people of the world, they might not have to be, they might not be like, okay, yeah, I'm trying to hear what this Odu has said. But even if they don't hear, even if they don't follow, the work that we do can shift the world into a direction that we need it to go in, into a direction that we want it to go in. So I also want to remind us as Ifa followers, Ifa practitioners, that we have ashe, we have power, and we also have a responsibility to speak good, bring good, pray good into the world. And by doing that, we can then kind of turn the tide of the madness that is outside of us. Okay. Abo shishe abo to yeah. All right. Yes. Abo shishe abo to yeah. If uh if bayi Shango Kimi Shannon, how are you? Okay. So we've got some good things that we have said. Does anyone have anything else that they would like to add before we begin any process of casting Ifa on this topic? All right. All right. I don't see anything as of yet, but all right. So it seems that we're on one accord. It seems that we are wanting a lot of the same things, if not the exact same things, definitely similar things. So I would like to get permission. Oluwala, would you say we have some level of synonymy that we could possibly cast Ifa at this point?
Yes, let's go. Let's see what the Ikin reveals.
Okay.
That'll be nice. I think it's
All
time.
right, so let's see what Ifa has to say on this topic. Ifa o Ọ̀rúnmìlà Òsọ̀rọ̀dáyọ̀ Ọ̀rúnmìlà ìlérè ìpín ibìkẹ́ẹ̀jì Olódùmarè. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ẹ̀ lárọ́ wá Ọ̀rúnmìlà rọ̀ wá Ifá bí ó bá kókó dé Ifá bí ó bá kókó dé Ọ̀rúnmìlà bí ó bá Ifa, we come casting Ifa, particularly around mending our world. We want to bring peace and healing to our world. Help us so that we will be able to transform and turn the tide of the negativity that is happening in our realm at this time. Protect all of our families, all of our loved ones. Protect all of those oppressed people everywhere. Olodumare, you know who is oppressed. You know who is the abuser. You know who is the colonizer. You know who is the offender. Olodumare, we ask that you would ward off the sickness, cases, controversy, ward off life, litigation, losses in our advice from all of us, and bring forth to us long life, wealth, prosperity, children, longevity, prosperity, victory of adversity, peace of mind, joy, healing, and all good things of life. Help us to be able to save lives, to protect lives, to preserve life, and also to bring good things into the world. Help so that our economic system for us individually will not collapse. Help us to be protected, but help us also so that this realm does not enter into any war. Also help us so that no more innocent people, no more people have to die in Israel, in Palestine, in the Congo, in Nigeria, and Ukraine, and Russia. Please help us to stop what could be something that could really destroy our world at this time. Ashe, Aboru, Aboye, Aboshishe, Ashe, Iwajupo, Olomoto. I do not say yes when it is no. Do not say no when it is yes. Do not give it red when it is I will. Do not give I will to it. Word off all death, all sickness, cases, controversy, war off fires, litigation, losses, life, wealth, spouse, children. Take all of our enemies and remove our enemies at this time so that they will not trouble us anymore. What do you say? What does Olodumare have to say on this subject? Ogunda Sorire. Ogunda Bede. Ire. Ayewo. Ewori Ayoka. Ire. Olodumare. Ifa, what is the Ire here? Ire Aiku. Oh no. Ọbẹ̀ unle. Ire Aiku. Ebo. Saeshu. Ifa says Ebo. Ashe. Aboru aboye. So Ifa gives us the holy Odu that is Ogunda Sori Ire, and Ifa says that Ogunda Bede, Ogunda Sori Ire comes in the Ire of longevity. So, very interesting in terms of this. So, I will begin, and then Oluola will come. So, in terms of Ifa, this Odu is very interesting. Ifa says on Ogunda Bede, when Ogunda Bede appears in consultation, the Omo Awo will have enough to eat. The Omo Awo will have enough to drink. The Omo Awo will establish himself. The Skasifa for Olodomare Agotu, the Oba who does things miraculously. There's nothing Olodomare cannot do. He made the cool breeze and the cool weather. He made the dryness of the dry season. He made the dryness of the Hamatan. There's nothing Olodumare cannot do. Aboraboy. So, in terms of this, Ifa says at this time, one of our prime supporters is Almighty God. Almighty God is our support, and we need to draw on the support of Olodumare. We are at this moment in time more so children of we must put our faith, put our trust, put our stock in Olodumare more than anything else, more than any divinity, anything else. Put our trust in Olodumare, because on this Odu Ifa says that Olodumare can and will make things happen miraculously for us at this time. We have a special blessing by Olodumare that no matter how impossible the situation may seem, it may appear at this moment, Olodumare is absolutely going to step in and bless and support us. Ashe. Also, on this Odu, this Ifa also reiterates that our strength not only is Olodumare, but our strength is also in Ifa. And what that means is we have to really draw nearer to Olodumare and draw nearer to Ifa at this time. Ifa is going to be our absolute support system, our our guidance, our wisdom. Ifa is going to be the thing that helps us to have the we need to make Ifa our compass. Ifa says, Ogunda Bede, the palm oil is complaining against the akara. The akara is complaining against the palm oil. This cast Ifa for Fakolade, the delegate of Awos, when he said he would no longer be worshiping Ifa. He was advised to offer Abo. He complied. Now, Fakolade, the delegate of Awos, it is the Orisha that supports one that one ought to worship. Ifa is saying very clearly that we need to put our full trust in Ifa for all of these negative things to transform and turn around. And it is only going to be through us standing within our ashe as Ifa followers and Ifa practitioners that we will be able to remedy the situation, the negative situations around the world, in our households, and so on. Last, I want to say that Ifa says that we all, along with practicing Ifa, investing in Ifa, and being rooted in Ifa, Ifa also is saying we need to be ethical. We need to be speaking truth. We need to be doing everything that we can to be seen in the world as correct, righteous, and good people. Also, we need to be very, very focused. We can't be, we need any decision that we make, anything that we say that this is what we're going to do. This is the moves that we're going to make. These are the actions that we're going to take to remedy the situation, to bring peace into our area, our little piece of the world. Ifa is saying that in doing this, we can't waver. We can't be like, we can't start on one project to bring about healing and peace, or start on one method by which we want to bring healing and peace and then shift to something else. We can't like be discouraged and say, oh man, it doesn't seem like it's working fast enough. Ifa is saying that we need to invest, dig in, and continue the process. We need to be like the tree stump. Ifa says on Ogunda Bede, the tree stump does not shake sideways. So we don't need to be wishy-washy. We don't need to be we don't need to uh, be individuals who think, oh well, it doesn't seem to be working exactly the way I want it to work at this time. So let me switch the approach. No, stick to the approach, stick to the method, stick to the way that you have set it up to do, and it will come forth. It will manifest. It definitely will manifest. So those are some of the messages that I wanted to bring. I want to allow Olunla to share his wisdom as well. Aboro aboy abochishe.
Okay, thank you. Abuato. All right. So Ifa says in this Ogunda Bede that it's really in our hands where we want to take this, because what Ifa said in this Odu was that if we use Ifa to pinpoint the area we want to go to, we'll have more success. What Ogunda Bede said in this Odu, it said, the spineless one was casting Ifa. His wife was holding the Igbo determinants. Some Awo are reciting 20 stanzas. Some Awo are reciting 30 stanzas. Some Awo are reciting even 50 stanzas, but they were not able to touch on the matter. Okay, so what Ifa says is that we need to use Ifa very carefully to know how to narrow and focus and be more precise and not too general in what we're doing. Because if you have a whole ton of knowledge, but you're not directing it to the right area, then it won't land where it's supposed to land in the right way. Ifa says if we can use Ifa very well to pinpoint the area that we want to work on in terms of world peace, we'll be more successful. Ifa says that this success will be such that we'll have praise and we'll have honor coming to us. Ifa says that it is special deities who will be helping us to grab this praise and honor. Oromila, Eshu, Ogun, and Shango. So we need to be understanding that those deities will be battling for us. Because what Ifa says is this venture that we're looking into beginning today, this venture will also be accompanied by enemies. What Ogunda Bede said is that it says, look at the character of human beings. Look at the character of human beings. They said they were trying to help me by taking dust out of my eye, but in fact, they were only putting coal in it in their own mouth. Look at the character of human beings. Ifa says that everyone who that sees us doing what we're trying to do, they will not all be super happy with us. They will not be supportive of us necessarily, but it does not mean what we're doing is wrong. What it means is that we will have some initial opposition. Ifa says in this Ogunda Bede also that we must rely on Obatala to bring us success. And Obatala's specific role is helping us to gather the money to pay for ebos and pay for other things that will make this to be a successful venture. This idea of world peace, of promoting the profile of Ifa, it's Obatala. Because Obatala is the one who is in charge of the prosperity in this Odu. Ifa says in this Odu, we have to be very aware of not wandering into areas or fields or jurisdictions where we're not welcome or we're not comfortable or we're not competent or able. You see, it's the story of 3 boys who wanted to experience poverty. They wanted to know how life could be just being poor. They were from wealthy families, and they went to Oromila's house to experience the rough life, and Oromila kicked them out. They came a second time. They begged Oromila, we want to know poverty. Oromila kicked them out. They came a third time, and they said, we want to know what it's like to be poor and to suffer and struggle. They wanted to experiment with something that they should have been doing. And then what happened was Oromila said some simple incantations, and the boys became lost in the forest. They wandered for many, many years. During these years, they went off their destiny completely. They became involved in cannibalism and other strange behaviors. Funnily enough, again, it was Obatala who came to the attention because the boys actually attacked Obatala's family on a number of occasions. including Obatala's wife, Yemo. And finally, Obatala, he's so cool-headed, despite even losing family members to these three boys who by this point looked like wild savages in the forest. They had facial hair going down their chest. They were filthy. They hadn't bathed in years. Obatala was able to find out the boys' names. And then he realized that these boys are from a certain town and they didn't come from that type of background to be doing this type of thing. They were able to remedy the situation and bring the boys back to normalcy. So what Ifas is saying for us is, let us be very careful about where we go, where we step. Let us not stumble into or pick up rocks and go into like places that as a group we don't need to go into. We have to be very targeted with like the peace campaign that we want to work on. And if we do this, we're going to succeed. We're going to have honor and we're going to have prestige. Ifa says in Ogunda Bede that if anything goes wrong, we must blame ourselves 1, 2, 3 times before we blame anybody else. And if we do that and investigate and recalibrate, things will be very well. There will be so much prosperity in this Odu. And we will be successful. And we're going to bring a measurable amount of peace into the world. I say, Aboro boy, Abushisho.
So those are definitely, I think that there's some very good messages that were both shared. I see some people who are online. Um, uh, I definitely see just messages like Aboro Boy. So Aboshi Boto to everyone. Thank you for joining us once again. I think the best thing for us to do at this point, because I think that it's going to be good for us to enlist the insight of our elders in terms of what Ebo we want to mark. Okay. So I think that that would be a really wise move, is to check with our elders in Nigeria to see exactly what Ebo would be comprehensive to address the things that we want to do within this. I will also add in terms of this, there's some general taboos. Those general taboos would be for us. I would say the main character taboos is to strive for honesty, not to be cheating or lying or to exhibit any dishonesty in any way, to try to be as honest as we can. That is what the Orisha will support. That's what the Irumole will support. And also, Ifa says that these things that we want, that we're praying for, will happen within our lifetime, within the time that our hair is black. That's what Ifa is also saying. So I want to defer further to our elders in Nigeria to get insight as to what the best comprehensive Ebo should be. And what I would like to do is, once we figure out the Ebo, we should be able to figure that out within a day. And we can do another video perhaps this evening or perhaps tomorrow, whatever, just kind of explaining further the messages that some of our elders also shared with us in terms of steps to take and the best Ebo and when we'll be offering this Ebo. Okay. So what do y'all think about that? Does that sound favorable? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm thankful that I see about 24, 25 people have joined, and everyone has made some valuable comments and contributions. We thank you for that. And also, what I would encourage is those of you who like what we're doing and like the fact that this has been done, please like and share the video, share it to different people, get folks involved, because we as the IFA community, no matter which denomination, we need to strive also for unity. Strive for unity and peace amongst ourselves and healing amongst ourselves. So let's try to garner that and bring other good people into the fold. All right. So until the next time, like I said, we're going to get insight from our elders, and then we'll post that video. And that video should be up either this evening or it should be up tomorrow. So thank you so much once again. Abura Aboye Aboshishe Agboto. Thank you, Olunla. I know you are very, very busy. Thank you for joining us.
No, my pleasure, Asheo. Thank you for organizing this, Baba, and all the participants. Thank you for all of us. I think we're on the beginning of a great venture here.
Ashe.
Ashe.
All right. Thank you all so much once again. And we pray for you, and we'll see you very soon. Abora Boy.